But from your own position as a relationship coach, what do you think is the reason why, according to what we hear, there's a lot of divorce requests?
Wow. Okay. We are looking at what is present. What is present. And the reason it seems alarming to us is because we don't have this in the past.
Yeah.
If it has always been the case, we have always had divorces, we will say, okay, maybe we'll not even be bothered about it. We'll say, okay, it is normal. It's very normal. So the reason we are really perturbed right now with the rate of divorce is because we've never seen it in this dimension before. People are getting married and within months they're saying, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So there are too many factors involved. Let me just talk about one. Okay. I'll talk about some of them. First, there's a shift in our culture right now. Shift in our culture in every aspect of family life. Before now, we had this family circle, this family structure where the man was the head and he knew he was the head. Everything started and ended with him. Women didn't really have as much say as to how things would be run in the family, and also they didn't even have as much economic power as they have right now. So right now, with women beginning to work, there is a shift. Now, anyone who has economic power will want to have a voice. Contributing gives you the opportunity to want to have a say because I'm contributing to this. Before now, the man is the head of the family. In fact, we were taught in social studies in primary school that the father is the breadwinner of the family. But I doubt if we will still want to teach the same to my son Asha, that the father is the breadwinner. When we know that the mother is also contributing right now. In fact, some women are earning more than their husbands. So there has to be a shift in culture. There has to be, if the women are contributing more, you will take more than just thou shalt submit to your husband to make them want to do what the man says.
Wow.
That means there is a leadership challenge that comes on the man.
Okay. Just because of the economy now.
The economy is just one aspect of it.
Because you talked about him providing and she also.
Yes.
Basically, it has to do with the power.
The power.
Economic
Financial,
power.
but
yes,
more than just economic power.
Okay.
In almost every aspect, women are beginning to rise. Okay. Before now, when a man has male and female children, he wants to send the male to school.
Before now, long before.
Yes, long before now, and the females will have to wait. So the men were more educated, they were richer, they had everything it takes to just place them up there and
run things.
So submission will just come naturally. Everybody wants to submit to someone who knows better, someone who has more economic power, someone who has. But if I'm going to submit to you and you don't have, we are like equals in some areas. What it means is that you have to up your leadership.
Okay.
You will have to up your leadership. So
the man has to up.
The man has to learn how to lead. You can be a 360-degree leader. You can lead people who are ahead of you.
Yeah.
But it takes some level of skill, and that's where men really need to. Just this aspect now, men really need to up their leadership skills, because I look at some families and I hear what's happening, and I just say, it's like there is a big signpost in front of every door shouting, "Fathers wanted, leaders wanted." Because you come to the home, what used to make the man the leader were all external. His money is external.
Yeah.
His level of education, external, all those. But now, from inside, you have to learn the skill. You have to learn the skill of leadership, being able to sell your ideas to this woman, make her see that, okay, we have a family vision. There is something that we are pursuing, and you are part of this vision.
So you believe in camaraderie, in fellowship, not in showing you come, hey, you know, reach me, don't ever start. I pay bride price too. So you believe in working together.
Family should be us working together. It's marriage is a partnership.
Okay.
From the beginning, marriage should have been a partnership.
Okay.
Let me borrow from Christian literature.
Okay.
That God created humans, and He said we should dominate over the fishes, over the birds, over. He never said a man should dominate over a woman. reading the Bible for me, from Genesis chapter 1, 2, 3, the first place I saw, he said they should dominate. He said in Genesis chapter 1 from verse 27, he says that he created them male and female. He said, male and female created he them. Then he gave them dominion. He didn't give the man dominion. He gave them dominion.
Okay.
So the first place I saw the man was to rule over the woman was after they sinned, after the fall of man.
Okay.
That is in Genesis chapter 3, I think around verse 16 now. God was now speaking to the woman. He said, your desire shall be towards your husband, and he shall rule over you. He shall bear rule over you. So I believe if I'm talking to Christians now, we are in the New Testament, and Galatians chapter 3 says, from verse 13 says that Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law.
Okay.
So your wife has been redeemed from the curse of the law.
So she's not your slave.
She's not your slave.
She's not your vassal. You don't
yes.
own her.
So marriage should be a partnership. So even in the olden in the old age, in the past generation, when women were subjected, it shouldn't have been so. We should have just looked forward and know that it's a matter of time that these ones will rise up and they want to have a say.
But
yes.
But think about this. Now, I just remember what happened between, also in the Bible, the scripture, where Abraham and Sarah.
Yes.
And at some point, when Sarah said Hagar should leave, Abraham was dragging his feet. And then when he went to do his
devotion,
meditation,
yeah,
information came around and said, "Oh boy, listen to this woman."
Listen to this woman.
So it means that actually they should have been working as a team.
Marriage should be a partnership.
Marriage should be. So I saw on social media. I think this is Ghana. I can't really tell if it's Ghana. I think it's Ghana. The guy was saying the woman works, he doesn't work. And when she works, she brings his salary and gives all to him. And then he tells her, "Don't even frown. Don't even frown your face." And he was saying this thing on TV, on national TV. So I think there's an entitlement mindset. What's your position, Dr. Ndu? What's your position on men being domestic at home? So men are like, I don't wash clothes, I don't sweep the house. You guys do it. Since as long as I bring the money, you guys should handle it. What's your position on that?
One thing we have to know about marriage and about relationship is that no two relationships, no two marriages are the same.
Okay.
As different as our fingerprints are, they may be similar. There may be similarities in marriages, in relationships. My relationship with my wife may be similar to yours, may be different, but they are not the same. No two marriages will be the same. So where we begin to have problems is where I am comfortable with this and you're not comfortable with this.
Okay. We shouldn't borrow from another person.
We shouldn't borrow from another person. So if it works in my family,
yeah,
it will not necessarily work in your family. What works with your wife? What works with your husband?
Okay.
Because some families are really going on very well. The woman is doing everything she can do from her end. And, you know, there's this old joke that we used to really have about a guy who just came from the village and he came to the city and he was looking at houses. And some boys approached him and said, that you have to pay 1,000 naira for every house you have looked at, so you're owing us. And he said, no, I've looked at only 3 houses, so I can pay only 3,000. And they agreed. He paid them 3,000 naira. He left happy. To him, he has cheated on them, and he has looked at over 100 houses and he paid just 3,000, and they were happy.
Yeah.
So there is peace. There is peace. So in some families, things may not be going the way we see it as right. But if I am comfortable doing this for my wife and she's comfortable doing that for me, I don't think anybody should have problems with it. Okay. And if we have problems and we're able to talk about it, and say, okay, how do we navigate it? Because times must come when we are both different. We have different thought patterns. We have different emotional patterns. So we are going to not agree in some things. If we can sit down as two mature adults and talk about, okay, what works for you? How do we handle this? And with a human face, because the woman told me one time, she said, David, listen, I go to work, I come back, I like bathing my kids myself when I get back. So I bathe them. Their father sits in the sitting room and he's smoking and watching TV. I don't even like him smoking in front of my boys. and he's smoking and watching TV. I will bake them, I will cook the meal, I will give him, he will eat. In the night, he will come to bed with me. In the morning, he's asking me for money. She didn't know how she could wrap her hair around that. So even if your wife is not complaining or your husband is not complaining, there are some things you do that you look at and you know that this is not human.
I understand what you mean.
It doesn't look fair.
Dr. Ndu David, relationship coach. So, based on this information you have, and I like the way you've been able to handle this, I've learned again today, one size doesn't fit all as far as marriages are concerned.
At all.
So, how do you intend to pass this information and this wealth of knowledge you have so you can actually bring peace and succor to many homes? Do you have any plan, any seminar, any event taking place soon?
Okay. So right now, what I do is I have a website, like ndudavid.com, and I try the best I can to keep on updating, keep on sharing there. I share on social media, on Facebook, facebook.com/real ndudavid, facebook.com/doctor, that's Dr. Ndudavid. I am still at Dr. Ndudavid on every social media. You're going to find me. I just try the best I can to put out as much information as possible, because for me, I have a passion to help single and married people build blissful and empowering marriages and relationships. For me, it has been a drive, it has been a passion, and I'm pushing it out there. And now I want to have one-on-one contact with people. I want to share my wealth of knowledge about relationship. I want to see how we can, one family at a time, because the truth is, everyone who is going through a terrible time in their marriage right now could have just helped themselves and their partner if they had just one information. But the point is, we don't know where that information is. It could be in a book, it could be in someone, it could be on social media, it could be anywhere. So our job is to keep on looking for this information, because if we don't make this shift, if we don't shift with the culture, we are just going to hit the rocks. Culture is constantly changing, and it's going to affect every area of our lives, including our relationships, including our marriages. What I really want to do is, if we can just have one family that is saved, just one family, because every family represents a generation. Because if I'm doing well, most of the things I know about marriages and relationship, even though I've had to attend classes and get certified and all that, but the basics I learned from my parents' marriage. I learned from marriages around me. Yes, because, and I also believe that every marriage is immersed in a culture. There are marriages around you that are influencing your marriage, whether you like it or not. That's it. So if we can just get one marriage, that marriage can influence others around it and influence the kids to also build for the future.
Before I let you go, some people say you must not marry. Young ladies who pass, according to them, their mindset, their heads, they have passed the age of marriage.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
If you don't want to marry by choice, there is something that Jesus said. That's if I'm talking to Christians. There's something that Jesus said in Matthew chapter 19. I think around verse 10, 11, 12. He said, if I want to quote it from the Message Bible, he said, not everyone can live a married life. He said it requires certain aptitude and grace. So if you don't have those aptitude and grace, when I talk to people and I joke, I like to say that what he's saying is that we need to write some aptitude tests before we get into marriage. So if you think that you don't have what it takes, you can't handle this marriage thing, it's cool not to marry. Paul in the Bible didn't get married, and he lived a fulfilled life by my own perspective, So it's not compulsory to get married. But if you really want to get married, if you're not lying to yourself, you don't want to be living there, you desire to get married, there is someone for you. Yes, you just have to connect more. You're going to connect with that person. Someone was asking me recently how she can make it this year because she really wants to get married. I said, see, connect more. Attend events. Join a church. Say, but I go to church. I say, no. Going to church, if you're a Christian, is different from attending church. Attending church every Sunday is different from, if you're part of a church, the church is a family, you have to be part of the church, join a ministry, and not because I want to get married, because people get frustrated. After 6 months, I thought if I join this ministry now, I'm going to get married. No. But you join the church, you join the family, The truth is, you may not even find the person you want to marry in that church, but you may find someone related, a friend to the person, somehow, but just meet more people. If you meet more people, you have more relationships. Then from those relationships, one of them must click that you're going to get married.
Okay. Coming from a doctor, I'll hold that firm.
Thank you so much for having me.